it's happening in New York, New Jersey, or Long Island, hear about it with Joe Piscopo. Mornings, 6 to 10 on AM 970. The Answer.
Portions of this show sponsored by Route 22 Honda.
Piscopo in the morning. It's 8:27 on AM 970. The Answer. It is it's a tough day, September 11th, you know. And then my buddy Ray, who I saw down at the Bethesda Blues and Jazz Club in Maryland, said, you know, I work with Don Mattingly. I said, Don Mattingly? I said, he's a hero to me. From day one, Donnie's always been great. I remember asking Donnie for an autograph for my son, Joey, and Donnie gave the autograph. I remember in Toronto when I'm with Bobby Wall, who was on the show yesterday, and Donnie leaves first base. It's the end of the inning. He makes the last out. He tosses me the ball. Of course, I goofed the whole thing up. I mean, you threw it, you bounced it off the dugout in Toronto, and I kind of went, ugh, and I couldn't catch it. But, Donnie, I have immense respect. You are a hero. If I may, ladies and gentlemen, the great Don Mattingly.
All right.
Donnie, baseball with us. Great to have you here, man.
It's great to be here.
And you got a game tonight, brother. Look at you.
Yeah, we do. Got rained out last night, so we're going to play a double dip tomorrow night. But playing tonight, I guess the weather's still a little bit iffy. So
Yeah.
we'll try to get one in tonight.
Donnie, you haven't aged a day, brother. Look at you. You look good, man.
I don't know about
No,
that.
you work. Are you working out with the guys? You work out with the guys in the.
I'm trying to work out. You try to feel good.
Do you go in with the guys sometimes in the dugout? You do. I could see you, man. Look at you.
No, don't judge the book by the cover.
And listen, and then we have before we get to Cantor Fitzgerald. Now, thank you for giving back like that on a game day.
No, well, think though what they're doing is tremendous, and giving back to the families and in charities all over the world. Obviously a tough day today in New York.
Yeah, man.
I wasn't in the city when it went down, but from the outside you're just glued, and you can't deal with it. It's hard to deal with. And you can't imagine what the families. It's hard to talk about it. You're from Indiana and you're back watching it while you're working. But then you got families and kids and people that are involved with that. It's just a whole other thing.
Yeah. So Cantor Fitzgerald, they have this Cantor Fitzgerald Charities. David Burke, who was just here, worked with them as well. So they reached out to you, and then you pick a certain charity, or they're working with your foundation.
They're working with our foundation. Back in Evansville, and we're doing underserved kids. We're trying to get to the kids that aren't getting the same chances that some of the other kids are.
Yeah, God bless you.
Again, just part of the charity day, and they're worldwide giving, not just here or there, but it's to families, it's to disaster relief funds, it's all different things.
Wow, man! Now we can make an announcement. What's happening in January?
You and I.
That's
bro.
it, man.
Yeah,
Come on, bro.
yeah,
You're
You're gonna
me
be
and
in
Donnie
Evansville.
baseball. Are you kidding me? I'm in my glory.
Yeah, and I thank you on the air, but just for agreeing to come. Been able to see you the last few years, over the years, but then the last couple of years at the Gold Glove Awards.
Yeah, man.
And that's always fun, and
Yeah.
you do such a great job with that and that energy. I don't know where you get that energy.
But I saw you, and again, my honor to be there. I will be with the name of the foundation is the Mattingly Foundation.
Mattingly Charities.
Yeah, and I'm honored to be there. And I'm going to go out to in Indiana, and we're going to have some fun. We're going to have some laughs, and we're going to raise some money for a worthy cause from this great man, Don Mattingly. And so when we do the Rawlings Gold Glove Awards, 8:31 with Joe on the radio and the great Donnie Baseball, and then I saw you and your lovely gal, who's beautiful, that she comes, and you came over, and I said hi. And then I thought, well, should I bust Donnie's chops? Because, we've known each other long enough. So when I went to introduce you, it went through my mind, and I introduced Donnie, Al. I introduced Donnie as the coach of the Florida Dolphins.
Florida Dolphins.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Good.
Like,
That's a nice amalgam.
I did Florida. It was like
It was the air conditioner. It wasn't working. So it was a little,
So, but Donnie came out, and then I came out, and that's a great event.
It really is.
That's a fun event, right? My
it
buddy
really
Ray
is.
Mira puts it together.
They
Mike
do it.
Thompson from Rawlings puts it together.
They do a nice job with that. They
Yeah.
do a really nice job with that. I'm going to miss it this year. Unfortunately, I'm going to be in Japan with the Major League All-Star team, which is going to be fun too. Looking forward to that.
You play. You look like you're right in the game. You could play, man. Look at you. You're not going to play. You'll be just
No,
there.
absolutely not. No. You know how that goes. It's like the
Couple
old
fungos.
boxers, right?
Yeah.
You still feel like in your mind you see it, but you're getting hit before you put your hand up.
We'll talk about Cantor Fitzgerald and charities, but I'm a baseball geek, Donnie. Forgive me. So I was talking to Mickey Rivers. I talked to some Jim Leyritz, a couple of these guys that you know, mutual friends. And I always try to say hitters. You're one of the great hitters of all time. Did you read what a pitcher was going to throw by the pitcher's habit? If you saw a pitcher do something, you knew a curveball was coming, you know the inside pitch was coming. Could you read that, or was it something more complicated than that?
A little more complicated than that. And there were times that guys give things away, that there were, they call it tipping and things like that. The guy sees things with the glove, and I was not a big guy trying to find that out. Just more of an idea of what you want to do with the guy. It's like going into it with knowing what you can do with the baseball and where you get the ball to the plate. What do you like to do? Are you a fastball slider guy or a fastball curveball guy? And then I form a plan, as a hitter, that what I want to do with it and where I think you're going to try to go. And so it's a little bit of a cat and mouse game, but you have an understanding of what you do as a hitter, what the pitcher can do, and then you're forming a game plan what you want to do against him.
You could see the ball real good, though. I mean,
I've seen it good, yeah.
Yogi always said that you could see you see the thread of that ball turning like that, man.
Yeah, you see the seams on the breaking ball.
You can see that, and then this is what was telling about Don Mattingly. I said to you listening or watching on YouTube or Facebook, because we talked about me playing the drums, which I opened the Rolling Skull Glove Awards last year. Remember I played the drums?
That was awesome.
I said, man, let me just rip it up a little bit. And I said, I rehearse and I rehearse again, and the guys know when I'll sit on the piano, I'll play the guitar over and over and over again, and then I said, Donnie, in baseball, shouldn't you be prepared? And you made the analogy. You did the same thing when you were batting, correct?
Absolutely. I mean, you're doing the same things in the batting cages and the tunnels. The guys have their routines, and it's funny when you talk to a kid that you say, well, hey, we hit off the tee. Like almost every major leaguer will use the tee. And kids think that that's just crazy. Oh, you're using a tee?
You mean underneath in the?
Yeah, in the tunnel. You guys are using that tee almost every day, and it's a way to you put the ball in certain spots, and that's really where the pitch ends up. And you're just grooving a swing, or not necessarily grooving a swing, but you're working that area of the plate.
Yeah.
Just like you would work on the drums or the guitar or whatever. I'm working on hitting that ball down and away, hitting it to a certain area of the field. Then I'm working on the ball up and in.
Yeah.
And then I have to put in my mind it could be a change-up, and change-up you got to wait a little bit longer. The breaking ball you got to wait. It's just clicks almost.
But it's visualization a lot.
Oh, definitely a lot of visualization for sure. I think that's something for me that started way back in high school, where you're seeing the guy, his pitches, where you watching yourself in your mind just. When he throws backdoor breaking ball, you see yourself hitting it down the left field line. If it's inside, you see it hitting down the right field line. The visualization, I think the mental side of that is definitely important.
And this was telling to me when we chatted. And this is what went on backstage, man. The Rolling Skull Glove.
In a 30-second split,
yeah,
right?
I know, man. I'm such a fan of Don Mattingly. I'm going, when you go in the cage, I asked you this before, if you in the cage and you take the swing, do you know batting at BP, do you know what your day's going to be like from batting practice?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Sure. I thought for sure you would know.
No.
I go in, I swing, I got it today.
There's days you feel so good in BP that I think it's bad for you, because everything just clicks that day in BP. And then I think sometimes you get a little overconfident.
Oh.
And then the pitcher, next thing you know, it's not the same. And there's days that it's so bad in BP, you're like, if I don't get my SHIT together today, I'm going to get embarrassed. So it's like there's days you're so bad in BP that you're like, man, I better get my act together. It's going to be a bad night.
Donnie, you're one of the most stellar athletes of all time because of your class. Not only because of your talent on the field. And I'll tell you this, man, I know you well enough, so I'm not patronizing you. But I remember this, too, when my kid was growing up, and I needed a Donnie Mattingly picture. And I went to Evansville. I wrote to Evansville, and I wrote to somebody. You sent the picture back to my son. And let me on the air thank you for that. You always, to a T, to a person, to a fan, are so dedicated, Donnie.
Well, I appreciate that. I learned from my parents, basically, you treat everyone with respect.
Yeah.
From top to bottom, from the guy that you walk in the door that's the doorman, or the guy that's helping pick up, trash through the building or whatever it is. Just treat people with respect.
God bless you, brother.
And that's just the way you do it.
And on this day, this day that is a somber day in New York, though, you're helping out the folks at Cantor Fitzgerald. Tell us, please, what your charity does and how Cantor Fitzgerald is helping.
Well, Mattingly Charities is a charity that we started we started actually in the New York area originally, but we've kind of moved it to Indiana because that's where I'm at now, or in the off season, and it's for underserved kids. We started an RBI program. We got in the inner cities. We got over 300 kids have been playing over the last 3 years, and bringing the game of baseball to kids at an early age that weren't getting access to it. And then we've just expanded into education. We do a summer reading program now. We do a thing with Challenger Baseball. I don't know if you've seen that. It's kids with wheelchairs and disabilities that they get to play, and it's amazing. If you ever get a chance to go to a Challenger game, or I don't even know if they call it that. There's different names for it, but these kids are the best. They have so much fun. They announce them. They announce their names. The whole thing. But we do that. We're just involved in so many areas. Anyone that's underserved there in that area, we're trying to bring special needs kids. Education, the whole thing, and you're trying to touch kids in our area.
Well, I'll see you out there, man, in Evansville. I'll see you at the. You're not going to be at the Rollins Gold Glove. You'll be in Japan.
Yes.
But I'll see you in January.
Absolutely.
At the Mattingly Foundation. What respect we have for you. I mean, I know Al and Frank and everybody at the radio station, but I cherish our friendship, brother.
I appreciate it. I thank you for what you're doing. I can see down here. You see today's a different day.
Yeah.
You know, and you don't want to forget that.
Yeah. Thank you, Don.
We met a special kid last night that, just watching him, talking to him and where he's at in his life. And I don't want to say his name or put his situation out there because I don't want to use that.
Yes, sir.
But just a special kid that's came through this, and you can't imagine. You don't want to forget, what happened.
Yeah,
and,
you're internationally known, Donnie. In Japan, across America, but man, New York loves you, brother.
Well, I appreciate it. I love that. Love playing here. I always love coming back.
Thank you, Donnie Baseball, Don Mattingly. God bless you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I'll see you soon. Donnie Baseball doing great things.
Everybody knows this guy. Now, everybody knows he can do a radio show. Joe Piscopo. Mornings, 6 to 10 on AM 970. The Answer.